You do not need a degree in marketing to have a successful marketing career. You just need the skill set. Hello everyone, it's Taryn from Earth to Mars. I make personal development videos for millennial women as well as INTJ videos. So if you are into either of those things, you are in the right place. So today's video is going to be a really good one. Grab your pen, grab your paper, because we are talking about how to break into the marketing industry if you don't have a marketing degree or if you have little to no marketing experience. So I am a full-time digital marketer. I've been doing different types of marketing since 2016, and since 2020, I've been working strictly with marketing agencies or with regular companies in the marketing department. But the gag is, my degree is not in marketing, it's in film. So if I can do this, so can you. When I graduated college years and years ago, I really struggled to find a job in my field. And I was constantly on Indeed looking up different jobs that I could just start, immediately, because I needed something to pay my bills. And I kid you not, every other job that was listed was something related to marketing, social media marketing, digital marketing specialist, something. Everything was marketing. And it makes sense, because when you really think about it, there is not one business on this planet who does not need marketing. So if you have digital marketing skills, you will always have a job. So that's how I got started in the marketing industry, just looking up all these different jobs and seeing that marketing was a skill that is always in demand. So in the last 6 years, I have acquired so many marketing skills that have helped to increase my pay every single year, and all from the comfort of my own home. Like, I have now worked at a tangible job in over 2 years, and I want to show you how to do this too. So if you want to break into the marketing industry with no degree or little to no experience, and in just 5 steps, keep watching. The first step is to do your research. Marketing falls under a really big umbrella. There are so many different types of marketing that you can do, from social media marketing to content marketing to copywriting, advertising, whatever. There are a lot of different types of marketing. So do a Google search and research the different areas of marketing that there are and determine which one would be the best fit for you. The second step is knowledge building. So after you have determined the different area or different couple of areas of marketing that you want to focus on, now it's time to actually learn. I highly recommend you take courses for this step, because they are packed with a lot of information and you will get the most out of it. The 2 places that I recommend you taking your courses are LinkedIn Learning and SKILLSHARE. Those are the 2 platforms that I recommend. They're the ones I use, the ones I swear by. The instructors know what they're talking about. They're really informative. You get quizzes throughout the different courses. You also have PDFs that you can reference to. I cannot recommend those 2 enough. I really recommend that you take notes throughout your courses and that you have a marketing binder that you just put together. You put all of your notes into, all of your PDFs and your printouts, just to have it all in one place. It will be so helpful. With SKILLSHARE, you get a free 7-day trial, and with LinkedIn Learning, you get a free 30-day trial. You honestly cannot go wrong, so I highly recommend those 2. I will leave the 2 links down below so you can get started with SKILLSHARE and with LinkedIn Learning for your marketing courses. And while we're on the topic of LinkedIn, this is also the step where you want to create a LinkedIn profile if you don't have one already. It's 100% free to make a LinkedIn profile, but you will definitely want to make one for your marketing journey. And one more quick thing while we're still on this topic is, after you go through all of your courses, make sure you download your course certificates at the end of each of those courses, and then save them in a folder on your computer, because you will need those later. And I will talk more about that at the end of this video, so make sure you stay until then. Step number 3 is implementation. So this step is where you'll actually be doing all of the things that you just learned in the courses and in the trainings. There are 2 ways that you can do the implementation step. The first way is through an internship. There are so many marketing internships that you can apply to be an intern for. I would highly recommend trying to get a paid one. I unfortunately was not able to get a paid one when I did it, so I did have to work for free while I was working at, my regular job. But guys, the amount of information and the stuff that I learned during my internship was so invaluable. Like, I would not have traded it for anything. My marketing internship was 4, almost 5 months long, and I learned so much valuable information from it. In mine, I learned content marketing, social media marketing, as well as email marketing, and it was a really huge deep dive into all of these subjects. And by the time when I started the internship, I already had about 3 years or so of marketing experience under my belt. But this was such a deep dive that it really put together all the pieces of the puzzle for me. So I highly recommend doing a marketing internship. The second way you can implement your training is by doing a super part-time marketing job. Especially if you're already working right now, but you're looking to slowly transition into just the marketing industry. So many companies are looking for digital marketers, and even on a part-time basis. I would find some job maybe 5 to 15, 5 to 10 hours a week, either a contract position, a temporary position, a super part-time. And by working a super part-time marketing job, you'll be able to get your feet wet to see if this is something that you like doing, and it won't be so much of a commitment. And you'll also be making extra money every couple of weeks anyway, so it's a win-win. So I highly recommend doing one of those two options. And after my internship ended, the very next month, I was able to land a full-time position with a marketing agency. Now, step number 4 is to create your marketing resume. And it's also really important to tailor your resumes to whatever job you're applying to. For instance, when I first started doing marketing full-time after my internship, my resume was tailored to that of a digital marketing specialist, which is a generalist marketing position. So I was doing social media marketing, email marketing, some SMS campaigns. I was helping clients with content strategy on their accounts, just basic general marketing tasks. Whereas now, years later in my career, my resume is tailored to that of an email marketing manager or a copywriter. So with this information in mind, if I were applying to a job for an email marketing manager, I wouldn't apply with the resume of a digital marketing specialist. Even though I have those skills, even though those skills are important to have, it's just not relevant to this one specific job. When employers look at your resume, they want to see a specialized skill set that is relevant to the job they have advertised. So you want to make sure that all of your resumes are tailored to the specific marketing job that you are applying to, because there will be different skill sets for each different marketing position. And also think back to all of your jobs that you've had over the last 3 years or so, even if it's nothing seemingly marketed related, and determine if there's something that you can include on your resume that will fit the job you're applying for. For instance, I used to work at a hotel, and the majority of my responsibility was guest related: check-ins, check-outs, room attendants, that type of thing. But I was also helping out with the company's Instagram account. So I was still able to list that job and that social media marketing experience on my marketing resume when I was first starting out as a digital marketer. So now let's work on your resume really quick. So I use Canva to make all of my resumes. I use Canva Pro just so I can have access to more templates, more graphics, that type of thing. But you can definitely just use the free version or do the trial for Canva Pro. So basically all you do is you type in resume to the search bar. It'll bring up all the different resume templates that are available to you. As you can see, there are a lot to choose from. I typically would stay away from the ones with the pictures. You just want a simple resume, something that will just list your experience, that type of thing. And as you can see from the sidebar, there are a lot of different styles that you can choose from. So I'm just going to pick simple because we want to keep it very simple. All right, so I'm going to pick this one right here. It's pretty simple. It's going to open up into a new screen and you'll be able to customize it. So I zoomed in a little bit just so you can see what we're working with. How I typically structure all of my resumes is I typically have my education portion listed on the bottom of the resume rather than the top, because my experience is more relevant than my education. Because again, I have a film degree, so employers are more interested in my actual skill set. So in this case, for myself, I would just rearrange the resume a little bit and move things around to have my education at the bottom. If you don't have much experience yet, I would definitely lead with your education. But again, you don't need a marketing degree or honestly a university degree at all in some cases, but this is where all of those courses come into play. List those on your resume. So the name, when it was completed, and maybe a quick summary of what it was about. And if you have an internship, list that too. Even if you're not done with it, list when it started, list when it's scheduled to end, and a summary of what you're doing in it. So just because you don't have a marketing degree, you can still list all of your education and training that you received via courses or via internships. And don't forget to add your skill set to your resume. Usually I don't do like two separate ones. I just have everything listed under one general title of skills. And I'll add anything that is relevant to the job that I am applying for and any skills that I've learned from the different courses or the internships. So that's very important too. Don't forget to add your skill set. And if you have any marketing work experience that you can add, I typically only go back about the last 3 or 4 years or so. I don't want the resume to be, too cluttered. You only want it to be one page long. So if you find yourself going into a second page, you want to take a few things out, condense it as much as you can. And this part right here, your title, that's where all the different versions of your resume will come into play. So make sure for whatever resume that you are working on, if you are applying to more than one different type of marketing job, you change this out. So, maybe you have a digital marketing specialist, cannot spell, digital marketing specialist resume. You'll list everything related to being a digital marketing specialist. Or if you're applying for an email marketing specialist, you'll change that out also. Or maybe you're applying for a product marketing manager. You want to change that out and make your resume tailored to that of a product marketing manager. For your profile info, I would definitely add a little something about yourself, a little bit about your experience, what you're looking for out of a company, the skill sets you have, just a little brief synopsis of who you are as a digital marketer. You can also include references if you would like. I typically leave this off, and if they ever need it, they just ask me for it, but it doesn't hurt to include it. Don't forget to fill out your contact information, phone number, email address. For this part, I usually don't include my website. I'll include my location. So I'm in the Baton Rouge area. So I just put Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I don't include my complete physical address. I just let them know the location that I'm based out of. Since we are working remotely, they'll have an idea of where I'm from in the world. And make sure that you proofread your resume before you send it off or add it to your job application. Like for instance, these are type of things that you really want to make sure you're paying attention to. So like, let's say for Borcel Inc., I added 2020 to current, meaning I'm still working there as a senior website designer. But you can see that I wrote designed web pages for company, assisted team with content creation. You want to make sure every job that you're currently working at is in the present tense. It's such a small thing, but you really want to make sure you're checking for those type of little errors. And every other job, of course, that you've had is in the past tense. So just little small things like that, it makes a huge difference. It shows that you pay attention to details. And honestly, these are all things that employers still look for. So just be mindful. And after your resume is done, you want to title it with your first name. So let's just go with this one, Harumi Kobayashi, and the current year, 2022. I usually add the title of the position that I'm applying to. So product marketing manager resume. So that's what I title it as. And sometimes if the name is too long, like this one is, I'll just make it initials. So HM 2022 product marketing manager resume. So you want to have either your first and last name or your initials, the current year, the name of the position that you're applying to, and then resume at the end. So this way, when the employer sees it, they have everything they need to go off of to know, just basically what they're looking at. And then from there, I always save it as a PDF. You always want to save your resume as a PDF. So you just do it like that. You download it and save it to your computer. And if you want to add a little razzle dazzle to your application, make a cover letter. Cover letters will definitely make you stand out as a candidate, but it is a little bit more work. And some jobs will specify that your application will be rejected if you don't submit a cover letter. So you can also use Canva to make these cover letters. Just type in one. Again, don't use any with a picture. That's not really needed. Let's just pick this one right here, I guess. And to save yourself a little time, you can definitely just change out the job title as well as the talking points to be relevant to whatever job that you're applying for. But just make sure you proofread everything to make sure you don't have any old information from an old cover letter into the one that you are submitting. You still want to tailor this to the job that you're applying for so it doesn't just look like you're copying and pasting things. For cover letters, you typically do use your full address. I use my P.O. box since I have one, but honestly, I feel like these people can find where you live anyway. So basically, this is it. All of your information, you just change out with your name, your info. You don't need to include a website if you don't have one or if you don't want to. Always make sure you are put in the current date that you're sending off the cover letter. You can change all your colors if you want something just a little bit different. That's too bright. I would stick with more neutral colors, something that's not too bright or too loud, too distracting. Again, proofread, proofread, proofread. And same thing, title it the same way, first and last name or first and last initial, current year, the position that you're applying for. And instead of resume, type out cover letter and still the same way, save it as a PDF. But other than that, that is really it. So now you have made it to step 5, which is to apply. The only 2 job sites that I use to apply are LinkedIn.com and Indeed.com. Those 2 websites are very easy to use. They are constantly updated with new, fresh jobs every single day, every few minutes, honestly. It has a really good user experience, and I'm sure you guys have already used those 2 websites already. So this is the hack that I was talking about a little bit earlier for the course certificates. Whenever you're on Indeed.com, at the very end of your application, you see this little part that says supporting documents. This is where you want to add those course certificates because it will increase your chances of getting an interview. I've noticed that not all of the applications on Indeed, though, have this little portion, but make sure you really check it because it's so easy to pass it up. It's usually on the very last page right before you submit your application, but if you have this available, which again, a lot of them do, you want to add those course certificates right here. For both of the websites, you can create filters for what you're looking for, the different positions, the different locations, different pay, different everything. So you can have it tailored specifically to only show jobs that are relevant to your search. A big takeaway from this step is to not get discouraged during the application process. Probably about 70% of marketing jobs are remote now, so there are a lot more people applying to these types of jobs, so competition is a little bit higher. So do not get discouraged if it takes you a little while to find a marketing job because they are out there. There are hundreds of them for you to choose from, but it may take you a little while, so don't get discouraged. So just keep pushing. I promise it will happen for you. You will soon be working in the marketing industry, working from the comfort of your own home like I do every single day, and just keep applying. And don't forget that once you get the job, to add that new skill set to your resume and also update your LinkedIn profile because you always want to keep those skill sets fresh. You want to keep adding on to the stuff that you already know. This was a lot of information, I know, but I will include timestamps for you so you can go back and rewatch it as needed. And also let me know if you guys would like a video on how I do all of my interview prep for my marketing jobs so that you can land the job that you want, and it will also take away so much stress that usually comes with an interview. And if you guys made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, leave me a comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell notification to help out the YouTube algorithm because I need it. And I will see you in the next video.